And so, he talks about like how his father, after meeting, the patriarch, and they met former Croatian president Ivo Josipovic, all this kind of stuff that he was saying, it's good now that Serbs and Croats aren't killing each other. We should be friends and this kind of thing. And so, he's getting this kind of very skewed vision of Croatia, right? Everybody he's meeting is like against the Ustasha regime and what they had done, are speaking openly about all these horrible crimes that, he claims not to have known about. But I mean, this guy was friends with Eichmann's son. You know what I mean? Like, and the author, Drago Pilsel, very quickly figures out that like a lot of this stuff for his dad is going in one ear and out the other. Right. And that his dad's not really comprehending things, because his dad's also having a hard time acclimating himself to life in Croatia and just life with other people. He had lived with 2 wives who had died, and at this point had been living alone for quite some time. And so getting acclimated to living in this place where you've actually never really lived, that you're supposed to like, and with a son that you left behind in 1972.
And who's now an anti-fascist. Yeah.
And who's now an anti-fascist.
Theologist.
And very openly so. He writes weekly columns in like some, liberal democratic newspaper. He was saying that like around his house, he had issues of the publication put out by the Serb community in Croatia, which is a kind of left-wing publication, and that his dad was reading this with great interest. But since, his dad was having a hard time, living there, he I guess didn't really sleep much and listened to the radio constantly. And the author of the book only later figured out what the hell his dad was listening to, and it was Radio Peace broadcasted out of Medjugorje, which is, I guess, an extremely pro-Ustasha, like neo-Ustasha nationalist, ultra-Catholic radio station. And so, there's an interesting part in the book where, his dad walks up to him and says, I keep meeting all these people who say that, Pavelić and the Ustashas were bad, but I hear that, there are many other people who don't think this way. All right.
Fritz here. This has been a highly manipulative attempt to entrap you into our Patreon page at patreon.com/tenepod to subscribe and get the full premium episode we've teased here. Also check out our Twitter account, also at Tenepod, and follow us, subscribe, and get the latest updates as well as whatever garbage falls out of our brains. So we cool?